Staying on the topic of FTAs, the U.S. and the European Union agreed to launch talks to free up their markets at the start of the G8 summit in Northern Ireland last month to create the world's biggest free trade pact in history.
At the same time, Asian economies, including China, are also actively promoting free trade deals, all of which is expected to reshape global trade order. So what can the world economy expect from these mega free trade deals? For this and more, we have Arirang's Ji-hye joining us live from our news center.
So, Ji-hye, what are some of the so-called mega FTAs that are under discussion?
Well, Daniel, there are three huge free trade deals being pursued by the U.S., the European Union, and some Asian countries, and the U.S. EU FTA, dubbed the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership that you mentioned earlier, is one of them. The other two are the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP, and the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP. Currently, 12 countries, including the U.S., Japan, Australia, and Vietnam, are participating in the TPP talks, whereas 10 ASEAN nations and 6 major Asia-Pacific economies, including China, Korea, and Japan, are involved in the RCEP negotiations. The U.S. EU FTA, the largest among the three, comes as both sides attempt to recover from the global financial crisis and to regain the advantage in global trade that's been lost to China and other emerging nations. The United States, which is trying to reaffirm its role in the Asia-Pacific region, is also spearheading the TPP initiative. China, on the other hand, is focusing its efforts on the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership.
And Ji-hye, experts are saying that these economic blocs will likely reshape the order of world trade.
You're right, Kanyang. The countries of the three mega free trade pacts account for 80% of the global economy. So the experts say if the deals are reached, world trade would rapidly reshape around the three new economic blocs.
World economies are moving toward building a new global trade order through the regional free trade deals, and there is high competition among nations to become leading states in the process.
For the past 20 years, the World Trade Order was established around the World Trade Organization in a single form. But since major countries that used to lead the WTO are now actively participating in regional economic blocs, the WTO is likely to play a less prominent role in the future.
Well, changes lead to more changes. Now, if the WTO's influence on global trade erodes, Ji-hye, what will its new role be?
Well, Daniel, experts say that the World Trade Organization would then focus on specific areas by resolving trade conflicts between nations.
Well, Ji-hye, let's focus on the effective change in the global trade order driven by these three mega FTAs would have on Korea. Now, it would seem that the impact would be largely negative.
Well, Kanyang, in a sense, yes, but because Korea's competitive edge in having early free trade deals with the U.S. and EU will weaken. For example, Japan, Korea's main competitor in the world export market, would have the same level of market access to the U.S. through the TPP. However, on the other hand, experts say that the increased size of the economies involved in the FTAs could also have positive impacts on the Korean economy.
Actually, when FTA are implemented between both countries, their GDP, their economic size is expected to increase. It means Korea's export market will be enlarged. In that way, Korea's the export opportunity can be increased as well.
And in fact, according to a report by the Center for Economic Policy Research, the U.S. EU FTA is expected to add up to 0.5 percentage point to the EU's gross domestic product and up to 0.4 percentage points to the U.S. economy. Another report shows that the TPP is also projected to boost GDP of involved nations by up to 1.5 percentage points, while the RCEP will boost the nation's GDPs by up to 1.8 percentage points.
Well, Ji-hye, can you provide us with a glimpse of what the World Trade Order would look like in the future if and when negotiations for the three mega FTAs are concluded?
Well, Daniel, experts say that the center of the World Trade Order will revolve around the three economic blocs, with minor regional economic blocs created around countries with large economies that are not included in the three mega FTAs like Brazil and Russia.
All right, definitely seems like there is an economic trade, a change of order coming our way very soon. That was our Ji-hye reporting live on how the three prospective mega FTAs could very well reshuffle the World Trade Order.